Guys, what is going on? Jake Andrews here with Blues Rock Guitar Lessons. I got another video for you today, something really cool. Now, some of you might have heard of Lonnie Mack, others of you might not be familiar with him. Lonnie Mack is one of the great, really early, influential blues rock lead guitarists, electric guitarist. Lonnie Mack, his great early stuff came out in the early 60s. A lot of instrumental stuff and very influential, very influential. I would say especially influential on Stevie Ray Vaughan's playing. I've always heard Stevie Ray say in some videos and interviews the very first record he ever got was a Lonnie Mack record, a great instrumental called Wham, which he recorded himself later on in his career. But we are going to work on a song right here called Oreo Cookie Blues. Now, in the mid-80s, Lonnie Mack and Stevie Ray Vaughan connected and they did this record together. In fact, Stevie Ray Vaughan produced the record and played on it. It was kind of a comeback record for Lonnie Mack, and Stevie Ray was getting to work with one of his guitar idols on this record. So this is actually the last track on the album. The album's called Strike Like Lightning, but this song is called Oreo Cookie Blues. It's actually Stevie Ray Vaughan playing most of the guitar part on an acoustic, okay? It's in the key of E. So what I'm going to show you today is the intro and the verse. And then in another video, we're going to work on the solo. Now, it's not exactly note for note what Stevie Ray's playing, but it's pretty much the idea of the song, and it sounds great, and you're going to love playing this. It's a kind of a slow shuffle groove in the key of E. It's going to help you get a lot better at playing in open E. Okay? So y'all watch this and check it out. This is the intro and then the verse. And the verse just keeps repeating throughout the song. And it sounds like this. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That verse keeps repeating until we get to the solo. All right, y'all, come in close and let's check this out. Let's start to break it up and see how he's doing it. All right, people, come down here, and as I said, we're in the key of E, so here's our open E first position. Right, okay, and we're actually starting this riff kind of in the second box, which would look like this. That's the second position of the minor pentatonic for the key of E. All right, so we are starting right here, and this is actually a little partial seventh chord. It's actually the same thing as a open D seventh, if you know this chord. Now, when we bring this little triad a full step forward, of course, we're not going to play the open D string, but if we play these last three strings, now we are in the key of E. This is a little partial E seventh chord. Here would be my E major chord, like a regular D shape, and here's the seventh. So you can use this in any key, okay? Just don't play the open D string, and it's always going to be there in that second position, okay? It's right here, and then we add this major note on the bottom, the major third. That's the shape. Okay, so the intro lick, we start off with a big open low E string, and then we come into this riff, and I'm going to strum it with my ring finger down, then I'm going to pull my ring finger off, and I want to get the open high E string, so don't block it, and I want to strum it twice. Okay? Here's how it sounds. I'm going to walk it back from there, and then I'm going to hammer on just my first finger on the 3rd string, first fret. So what that is there is just a little partial open E chord. If I was in any other key, it would be the equivalent, say if I was in G, of doing this. Okay, so this walk down looks like this. You see that? Once again, I'm walking it back and hammering here, so it's like this. All right, let's move on to the next part. Now, I pause there, and then I bring my middle finger down here on the 3rd string at the front of the first box. I'm going to slide into the 2nd position, and I do this lick. Okay, so I'm sliding into the 2nd box, and then I'm coming back. So I slide 1 step, and then I come down here on my 1st and 3rd finger. But what I want to actually do, I want to strum the open high E string as well. So make sure you're real upright so that you don't block that high E string, okay? Make sure you're strumming both of these strings pretty firmly. Got to strum, follow through to make sure you get that high E string. And then I'm kind of just going back the way I came. I'll put my middle finger back down here and slide backwards. So I slide backwards and then play this lick here in the 1st box. Okay, let's do all that again. And then finally, to end that little intro part, I bring my ring finger up here, low E string, 3rd fret. It's the front side of our 1st pentatonic box. And I'm going to do this lick where I walk up to the B note, or the 5. I go. So it's here, open A string, and then walk it up. Pick it twice there. It's very common, that little turnaround lick, walking it up to the 5. That's what the turnaround is where we turn around back to the 5. Okay? And then finally, I pause there, and then I pick up on this note, and I kind of walk it up on the D string. Okay? You see that? So it's like... See that little pause there? And then I immediately jump my 1st finger up here at the 2nd fret on the 5th string, and that's where I start this rhythm part. This basic kind of Jimmy Reed thing. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. Let's go back and let me play all of that together at a slow tempo. Here we go. And that's where I'm into the verse. Once again at a faster speed. Once again at a faster speed. give you on this intro part. If you notice my strumming, I like to strum down, up, down, up. It sounds good. It really makes that high E string ring out. So notice my strumming here. So that's actually the full intro, and now we're into the verse. So right there we pick up, as I said, this kind of Jimmy Reed rhythm where I go like this. But I'm going to actually cut it short here to make room for me to play this note, this pickup note. You with me? So, in other words, I'm strumming it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So I'm basically shaving off one of the strums here to make room for this pickup note, which kind of comes right before da da ba ba. All right. So actually, coming out of the, and then I'm going to go into it. So 4 times, and then at the end of the 4th one, I hit this note, but then I go drop down to the A. Okay? So it's like. All right. Now, at the A, I'm not going to do the exact same pattern. I'm going to do a variation. I'm going to do. So, you see what I'm doing? I'm strumming this twice, and then going through this passing note from my middle to 3rd finger. Now you can keep your 1st finger down and still strum both strings like this. Okay, so I do that. And then I kind of finish the 2nd half with the regular Jimmy Reed part. So it sounds like, and then again, and then I go straight up to the E up here, but I just cut it off. I strum it once and cut it off clean. All right, so once again from the E transition, it'd be like. So there, after I cut it off, I'm going to immediately drop down and do this lick from the intro, which was like this. Right? But then at the end, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to add this part to it. So it sounds like. What that is I'm kind of playing over the notes here and then ending on the 7th. If I was in any other key where it wasn't open, it would look like. Okay, so I pick up on this note on my middle finger, the root note. Hammer my 1st finger onto the 3rd string at the 1st fret. And then pick down like this. Open B, open E. And then finally end with my ring finger on the B string here at the 3rd fret. So all of that lick runs together now. So you notice I have that slight pause and then I pick up on this note a third time. All right. From there, I immediately pick up on the low open E string, and I also walk up to the 5, but it's slightly different because I'm starting on the open E. I go. All right. So after this. Now when I get here, when I land on the B note, I'm going to fall into a B7th chord. And then I'm going to strum it 3 times. All right. Now I'm going to take this chord sharp half a step and strum it twice. And then back to B7 twice. Alright. Now one little thing to notice about it, this open B string works when it's a B7 chord. It doesn't really work when I go sharp to C here. So I would recommend playing this chord a little, intentionally kind of play it a little looser so you actually block that second string, because we don't want that to ring up. Okay, so make sure you do that when we go up. Once again. And that is where you immediately hit the low open E string and do that walk down from the intro. Except right there, you go right to this part. So it's that same part from the intro, but it's played a little differently. Okay, so it's. Start the verse over again there, identically, okay? So the intro is kind of by itself up front. Even though pieces of it we use in the verse, they're kind of in a different order, okay? So don't let that confuse you. So it's intro, and then once we're into the verse repeats identically every time. All right, so let's try that again. I'm going to try the intro and all of the verse together, all at a slow speed, super slow speed, because this is already a slow song. And then I'll do it normal tempo for you. Here we go, guys. Let's put it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. that would be the second verse, okay? All right, now let me do it at the regular tempo and you guys will be good to go. Have fun with this and we will see you in the next video on the lesson on the solo. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. That's your part 1 video lesson on Oreo Cookie Blues by Lonnie Mack with Stevie Ray Vaughan. So y'all get that down, the intro and the verses, and then come back and we will work on the solo in the next video lesson. Okay, it's gonna be fun. I look forward to seeing you again, and thank you so much for watching.